Alright guys, we got a good one right here. As you can see, it's bigger than my thumb. The lines come out way past my thumb. It's almost the size of the inside of my mirror, which is 2 inches. So that's a pretty good chip right there. We're going to open it up a little bit, make resin flow easier. The windshield is warm, so we're going to use a medium resin. You can stay out here if you want. They don't, my viewers actually like my customer interactions. They think it's cool. I do too, because I love interacting with people. Alright, we're going to clean this windshield first, because I got fingerprints all over it from checking it out. And I want to make sure my tool sticks real good to it. He had another one right here that he had fixed. I can still see the little hairlines in it, which is fine, because you're never going to make them 100% invisible. Alright, let's get the tool on here. This is the tool we use medium resin in. So I use medium in one tool, and then I use either CR or thin. I think we'll use the CR today, actually. We'll use the CR resin today, because the windshield's not that warm yet. I mean, it's warm, it's just not, I don't think it's warm enough to use medium. So we'll use our CR resin today. And I want to keep this covered because, you know, the sun's shining on it, so I'm going to have to do this in a way that you can still see it, but where I can keep it covered from the sun curing the resin before I'm done. So let's see if I can find my CR resin in here. That should be it right there. So like I said before, guys, the CR resin is a mix of the thin and the medium. Only 15 drops on this one, because it's a pretty big chip. I want to make sure we have enough to pressurize the lines and fill them. And then, before I start pressurizing it, I'll move this out of the way and I'll just shade it with my hand for now. Because that way I can see the pressure on the tip of the tool. Yep. Oh yeah, that's going to be good. Now this is going to take a minute to fill because it's got a lot of long lines in it, and we don't want to rush the process. Now the CR resin does flow quite a bit faster on a warm windshield than the medium does, so it's not going to take as long as if I was using medium. And again, we're going to do the pressure and release, pressure and release. That way we're not just putting steady pressure on it and causing the lines to stay open for a long period of time. So that's a technique that I figured out a while back. I have to move to different angles to be able to see the lines filling. And they are filling. They're filling nice, actually. So we'll do another vacuum cycle. And we'll pressurize again. So somebody asked me, when I do this, do I pull a full vacuum on it? And yes, I do. I break thread. When I pull a vacuum, I break thread. I want the full vacuum. So, oh yeah, she's filling in real good. I don't know how well you can see that, but I can see this line still needs to fill down here. Yeah. So you said this chip's been in the windshield for a month?
Yeah, about a month.
So that's not terrible. I mean, I'm surprised it hasn't cracked yet. But with the warm and cold now, it's more of a chance. So it's good to get it fixed.
Yeah, we've been dealing with a lot of stuff, and so it's kind of really the only We're free.
Yeah.
Trying to get it repaired.
Got a lot going on, huh?
A lot of other places that we're trying to find decent prices and that kind of stuff. Like we saw one that was saying that they'll replace it for, not replace, but fix the chip for like $300.
Yeah. Isn't that ridiculous?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry, but I think $300 is a little bit ridiculous to fix a windshield chip.
I jokingly asked, saying, "What? Are you going to wax and polish it to polish the glass too?"
Right. Gonna wax and polish the glass and gold plate the windshield wipers and all of that for $300? Come on. Yeah, that's a little on the ridiculous side, in my opinion.
I can understand maybe $100 because the workload and that kind of stuff.
I can't. I'm busier than anybody in my area, and I'm not charging $100. But I think the reason I'm so busy is because I only charge $35. You know?
Yeah.
This top line's being a bitch. It doesn't want to fill. It's almost like it's not connected to the rest of the chip. It's beginning to fill a little bit now that I'm opening it. I hate having to open them with a probe like this because, you know, it's a risk.
Yeah.
But sometimes we have to. We don't have a choice if we want them to get full. I'm trying to keep it shaded. I don't want the sun to cure the resin until I'm done. That's the hard part. I can't really put a rag over it because then my YouTube people won't be able to see what I'm doing. Yeah, sometimes it just takes a minute. Not everything can be Speedy Gonzales, you know.
You just hope that would be.
Right? I never rush the process because that's what gets you in trouble. And even using this thinner resin, I have 3 different thicknesses of resin. I have a medium resin, a thin resin, and a crack fill resin, which is actually a mix between the medium and thin. So it's kind of right in between. So I'm using the crack fill because it's between medium and thin. If I would have used medium, this would have took a lot longer. And it's not really cold enough to use the thin. That's for like really cold, you know. When the windshield's warm to the touch, I use either the medium or the crack fill. It's filling. It's just taking a minute, but it's filling in. I just have to keep opening and closing it, letting that pump work its way up the glass, you know. These longer lines just take a minute, that's all. She's almost full. She'll be filled in here in a second. Okay, let's let that relax for a second and see where we're at. Getting there. Got a little bit left on the end. A little more pressure on the tool. And it's really hard to see what I'm doing when I'm shading it too, you know. That one's full. Alright, let's see if the rest of them are full. I believe they are. Looking at it from this angle. This one I don't think is quite full yet. Let's do the pressure and release on this one. This part always makes me nervous. No matter how long you do windshield repairs, when you're doing this, opening and closing the lines like this, it's a little nerve-wracking. Especially when they're difficult to see. I believe she's full. Yeah, different angles. You can see the lines at different angles, you know, when you're doing this. So you have to be careful not to over pressurize, because a line will look like it's not full from one angle. So you'll think, oh, I need more pressure, but then when you look at it from another angle, just move your head a little bit, the line completely disappears.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, okay, well, maybe I better call it then. But I think you're still going to see a couple of these lines.
That's fine.
They're
Same with the old one.
Yeah, if I can only put so much pressure on it without cracking it.
Yeah.
And that's the last thing we want to do, is crack your windshield. I would love to be able to make every chip 100% invisible, but that's just not in the cards. We're going to let the sun beat on that and cure it nice and slow. I don't think you'll be able to see the lines very well. You know, they'll be virtually invisible, but
I mean, straight on, you'd probably be able to see it, but that's just how the sun's catching.
yeah, the sun will catch the edges of the glass and it'll show you more than what you can actually see when you're just looking at it. So the way I explain it is, the edge of the glass will reflect light, right?
Yeah.
So even though it's full of resin, the line is full of resin, the resin doesn't reflect light.
Yeah.
So the edge of the glass is still going to reflect through the resin back into your eye or whatever. You're still going to see them slightly.
Yeah.
They're not going to be as bad as they were. In fact, they're going to be about 90% better. But you're going to be able to catch glimpses of it. They'll look like hairs. I was explaining to a lady the other day that our eyes are drawn to straight lines. Everything that we build is straight lines, right? Most vehicles have straight lines. You can see them. Straight lines, right? So when you're looking at a tree, you can generally just see the tree. If you're up close to it, you start seeing the limbs, because the limbs are straight lines, and you forget to look at the leaves.
Yeah.
Because your eyes are drawn to the straight lines.
Same principle that why we're so good at finding it falls under the same principle of why we're so good at finding snakes.
Yes, yes. Because if they're coiled up, we can't see them.
Well,
but if they're straight,
well, it's evolutionary. Anything that find in a singular kind of somewhat tapered, our brain picks it out faster than anything.
Yeah.
Else. It's an interesting study on this. I think it was Harvard. They did a study where had a group of, I believe, like 50 people, and they would slowly have one picture where it was complete fuzz, and then slowly retract the fuzz, and people would be asked their control group to essentially say when they see something, and it was within, I believe, like 15%
Yeah.
of removing stuff that it would immediately, oh, there's a snake in there.
Right. Or a tiger or a crocodile. Or, yeah. I remember seeing something about that. That's pretty cool, actually. I think we should be cured. Yep, we're cured. Takes a little longer for the sun to cure it than it does my light, but at the same time, I don't like wasting the battery on my light when we have nice bright sunlight. You know? So let's see here. I rarely have to use my pit fill resin, but we're going to use it this time because that pit is not filled in all the way. And actually I don't need to use my pit fill resin. I can just do it with a thicker resin. Well, we'll use the medium. We'll use the medium to fill the hole. Sometimes the hole fills in on the first shot and sometimes it doesn't. So we have to do it twice. But I always make sure the hole's filled, you know. I don't want stuff getting in there. Yeah. I'm having the hardest time with this tape today. Not wanting to lay flat. There we go. Goodness. Yeah, that's going to look really good, actually. See what I mean about the different angles? With my tool on the windshield and shading it, I'm getting sun reflecting like off the hood coming up and reflecting off of me going this way, so I'm seeing things at different angles, and it just becomes you think a line's not full. Now the one line I did have to pressurize, two lines I had to pressurize and fill. The rest of them were full, but looking at them from different angles, they didn't look like they were full. And that's when you have to kind of learn, okay, I know they're full. I'm not going to keep pressurizing it because I'm going to crack your windshield. Yeah, this will be a good video for people to watch. Can we get a reflection of the sun on that? A little bit, huh? Not much. A little bit more sun reflecting on it. Yeah, here we go. I like to use my mirrors because that way I save battery on my light.
Yeah. You end up getting it more concentrated.
Yeah. So if I'm working in like a parking garage, or if it's a cloudy day or something like that, you know, I'll use my light. But if it's bright and sunny like it is now, I just use the mirrors to reflect the light. Just works better. Kind of helps amplify it so that I'm not standing here for 20 minutes waiting for it to cure. Good thing is it didn't crack. I'm happy it didn't crack.
I just been praying this whole month for it not to crack.
Right? The whole month.
It's always you think that you're fine and you accidentally hit a bump and it makes it bigger.
Yep. I had to go look at a crack repair today. A gentleman called me and he says, I've got a crack in my windshield. And I was like, okay. He goes, it's about 12 inches. I said, well, I charge $10 an inch. And he's like, okay, that's fine. I said, check the price of your windshield first, though. You know, don't just pay me $120 to fix a crack if your windshield's only like $200. Just replace your windshield, you know?
Yeah.
So he's like, well, my windshield's $700. And I said, okay, good enough.
Yeah, our insurance has been doing the, oh, it's going to cost you $500 just to replace. It's just like that.
$500 deductible.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then because you have all these sensors in the glass and stuff, yeah, this windshield's probably like $750. And you're going to end up paying $500 out of pocket.
Yeah.
So if it was me, I mean, how many times have you had a chip?
This would be the second time.
Second time? How old are you?
I'm 25.
Okay, so you're young enough. You're not getting a lot of chips yet. but you will eventually. And then you need to decide if you want to up your insurance, you know, like take your insurance to the next level with it. You'll pay more monthly for your insurance, but a zero deductible on your glass is so much nicer, you know, especially if it cracks and you have to replace it, because you know, I'm cheap enough now. Most people will just pay me to fix a chip instead of going through their insurance. They'll just pay me to do it because, like I said, I'm cheap enough. But I know quite a few people that have a zero deductible on their insurance now because they pay a little extra for their insurance every month. But if in fact it does crack, I'm telling you, sometimes these rags drive me insane. See all the little streaks? There's a piece of tape stuck in that rag somewhere that I can't find, and it's making little streaks on the glass. I don't know why people have to be so loud. I don't know why they think that's impressive. You know, all that hitting the rev limiter and stuff. I don't understand why they...
It's just a sign to say that the car's been modified.
Yeah, but it's just senseless to me. Hitting the rev limiter and all of that. It's like the people on Harleys and crotch rockets. Nothing against the bikes themselves. Love the bikes. Can't stand the fact that they're always sitting at a stoplight revving their bikes up. You know? It used to...
Status symbol. They want to
yeah.
let everyone else know that they have a Harley.
Or crotch rocket. Because they do it on crotch rockets too, and it just drives me insane.
I came across, because this area has a lot of people that refurbish old vehicles.
Yeah.
And I came across this one guy fixed up an old Indian. And made it so that was pale blue for the chassis, and then silver chrome along the whole vehicle, so it kind of had a 1950s kind of look.
Oh, very nice. I bet that was nice. We're going to let that sit there and cure for a few more minutes. Maybe I'm not letting it cure long enough. That's why the resin's not staying in the hole. Drives me insane though. This happens once in a while. I had one a while back. Didn't matter what I did. I could not get the resin to stay in the stupid hole. You know? Didn't matter what I did. So what I finally ended up doing was I put a drop of my really thick resin on it and leveled it off with my blade, you know, like that. So I'd put a drop right in the middle and I'd level it off with my blade, and then I'd wipe around it real careful and just leave that resin in the hole, and just told them let it sit there for an hour and cure.
Yeah.
You know? Because no matter what I'm doing, it ain't staying in the hole. This is the only way to do it. And I didn't put tape on it. I just let it naturally cure in the sun, you know. But that happens sometimes. Every now and again, we get these where the resin just won't stay in the hole, but it did this time. I can tell. Yeah, it stayed in the hole this time. All right. 3 times the charm.
My coworker, he and his dad are fixing up it's the I can't remember the name of the car, but it was boat/car.
Oh yeah,
and
I know what you're talking about.
They're kind of doing a Frankenstein a little bit, where they took parts from another car from the same era.
Yeah.
To kind of give it more of like that kind of spaceship look. And from what it sounds like, they're trying to make it so that it can be water worthy.
Yeah.
Because you can't have an old style speedboat be able to put on the water anymore without the sensors and that kind of stuff.
Really?
Not a lot of boats need. A lot of the boats now today need to have a little sensor saying where it is. It's kind of like
a GPS locator.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. Because, you know, that way if you sink or something, they know where your last known location was.
Yeah.
But So I get that.
I think they said that they needed to find a black box or something along that lines to get put in. But yeah, it looked, from what they were showing us, they're changing the color from being, it was a royal blue. They're changing the color to, I think, white with electric blue highlights on it.
Nice. That's going to be nice. Well, what do you think?
It's good.
Looks great, right? Isn't that, yeah, you can barely see the lines, but your eyes are drawn to straight lines, so, and I can still see the lines in this one.
The sun catches
you know,
right, that makes it look like it's a spider web.
Yeah, like little hairs.
Yeah.
Or, like you said, a spider web. Get it just the right angle. And yeah, I can still see the lines in this one that they fixed. So they did pretty good on that one.
That one I believe the cost was $75, and the company that got with that, I think ended up closing because they couldn't find it again.
Oh yeah? How long ago was that one?
That one was, I believe, 2 years ago.
Yeah? Huh. Right on. Alright guys, you know what to do. Hit the subscribe button, click the like button, share the video, throw me some love. I'll see you in the next one.